We cannot sit here and just try to pretend like everything's on an even playing field when Jerry Rice had back-to-back, first ballot Hall of Fame quarterbacks thrown to him in his prime, all right? Now, with Randy Moss, 99% of his prime, right? His best quarterback was Dante Culpepper, all right? And I love Dante Culpepper. I love him a lot. Dante Culpepper, he was great. I love whenever he scored, he do the speed bag, he do the bam. Yeah, score a touchdown. Dante Culpepper, he's great. And I love Dante Culpepper, right? But after Randy Moss got traded, the stupid trade with Red McCombs, thank God he is not running that organization anymore. He got traded in, let's see here. Randy Moss got traded in 2005, the offseason of 2005, for Napoleon Harris. And if I'm not mistaken, a draft pick, which I'm pretty sure turned into Troy Williamson, which is the ultimate fail. I'll have to fact check that. But look, you traded him away. But up until that point, after Randy Moss left, Dante Culpepper, that year that Randy Moss left, this is your big chance. You're the great quarterback, and now your number one receiver is what, Nate Burleson at the time? He was terrible. And I know he tore his ACL and he was out for the second half of the season. But up until he got hurt, he was awful, man. Look, he played in 7 games. They went 2 for 5 in that stretch before Brad Johnson came in. His stats up until that point, 6 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Now, the year before when Randy Moss was last there, 39 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. That's the Randy Moss effect. This is a sport, okay? This is a sport where typically the quarterback makes the receiver. Randy Moss is the one receiver. I would say there's 2 other receivers that can make a quarterback, as far as that I've seen in my eyes, that can make a quarterback better than what they actually are. I would say DeAndre Hopkins is the first one that comes to mind. As far as recency, no, as far as one of the latest receivers out there, and then Larry Fitzgerald, okay? Randy Moss was the OG dude to do that, okay? This dude had, Gus Farad and Dante Culpepper and a bunch of other guys, a bunch of other bums throwing them the ball, made them look a lot better than what they actually were. Compared that to Jerry Rice, you had Joe Montana and Steve Young throwing to you your entire prime. Are we serious right now? So hey, look, the one time, let's get this straight real quick. Jerry Rice, back-to-back first ballot Hall of Famers, throwing him the football. 99% of Randy Moss's prime, he had Dante Culpepper. That was his best quarterback, all right? I wonder what would happen if Randy Moss had a Hall of Fame quarterback thrown his way.
Brady with time, going back again to Moss. Touchdown, Patriots! And Brady and Moss hook up on a record catch.
So that was the call on Randy Moss's catch from Tom Brady with the New England Patriots. This was in 2007, I believe. Yeah, 2007, the Patriots, they went 16-0. That was the record-breaking touchdown catch from Randy Moss. 23 touchdowns that year. Okay, that was the first year that he had a Hall of Fame quarterback at age 30, right? Age 30, he finally gets a Hall of Fame quarterback. Something that Jerry Rice has had his whole entire prime career, right? You give Randy Moss, Joe Montana, and Steve Young throughout his entire prime, this dude would shatter every damn record known to man. Let's stop acting like, and look, they went 16-0 that year. They went to the Super Bowl. Oh, well, Jerry Rice won Super Bowls. Randy Moss, they didn't win. Randy Moss scored a touchdown to put the Patriots over the Giants that year. What was it, 2007? That year, 14-10. It's not Randy Moss's fault that Ellis Hobb couldn't cover Plexico Barris on that fade route to seal the deal after that. So anyway, dude, you cannot sit here and act like that doesn't have a huge influence as far as having quarterbacks, as far as one of the best quarterbacks, 2 of the best quarterbacks of all time throwing you the football during your prime. And then not only that, as far as the impact of the game, because that's what we're missing right now. The impact of the game that Randy Moss had. Now, look, I compared Randy Moss to Vince Carter as far as the wow factor, but he's also comparable to a second NBA player, and I say Steph Curry, right? Steph Curry, once he passes half court, he is a legitimate threat to score the basketball. He could just bust a 3 right in your face, or because you're on defense, if you're guarding Steph Curry, you got so many things to worry about because, again, if he crosses half court, you have to be on high alert right away. But what happens is because you're so focused, you can't take any chances. All of a sudden, when you think Steph Curry is going up for a shot, once he passes the half court line, you go from the balls of your feet up to your toes, and Steph Curry could easily blow by you, go for an easy layup, or worst case scenario, drive to the basket and dish it out to a wide open Klay Thompson or a Kevin Durant for a wide open shot. That's the impact of the game that he has because of that seriousness of being able to drop a 3-pointer from 40 feet from the basket, okay? Randy Moss had that same effect, man. Look, and people say, well, you know what? He was only a deep threat guy. He wouldn't go across the middle. So the hell what? Are we really? Are you more interested in incremental games or touchdowns? Are you more interested in incremental games or instant touchdowns? Get out of here, man. If you need somebody to score the ball, right, or score a touchdown, you're down. Oh, man, we need one play. Randy Moss is that guy, no questions asked. But anyway, as far as the impact on the game, look, Randy Moss was the deep ball to Randy Moss was a legitimate threat every single snap. And if you're on defense, you can't just have a single high safety. You got to have two safeties. You got to have cover two. And all of a sudden, you're so worried about that deep pass, and all of a sudden, Randy Moss can act like, oh, I'm about to go fly route. Oh, suddenly come back for a curl route. Or it opens things up for the other receivers, right? Everyone's so focused on Randy Moss, and now all of a sudden, other guys can step in and have career years themselves. And obviously, he makes the quarterbacks look good.